I seem to always start with a cough. That's probably because I needed to clear my throat beforehand, so I should probably start talking to myself before I actually hit the start button. That way I don't cough as I start the stream. Okay, so everything seems to be going. Looking at my thing. Yep, that's going. Put that back up. Put that back up. Okay, so here we are. We got that back wall pretty much finished, at least in this stage. Ooh, look. I should also probably do stretching before the recording begins. Yay for me. Okay. Looking at all my inputs. That's all good. That's good. Okay. So, like I said, we got that back wall pretty much finished for today. I think today I'm going to be focusing on that lamp that's right here. Also, last time I checked, it looks like we have about a 17-second delay between my voice going out to you and me seeing your text on screen or something. So, excuse me, be aware of that. Okay, Sasami-chan has arrived with his usual little quotes here. Let's see what he says. Far from home, stranded on a strange world and befriended by a boy with trail of... Excuse me, I have a very bad reading thing from years and years of ADHD and no one know how to teach me anything. Okay, with trails of candy, or trail of candy, welcome into your heart Lux who only wants to phone home. Oh, ET reference. Ah, I trail of candy. I get it now. Reese's Pieces. Okay. Thank you, Sasame-chan, for that wonderful beginning. So as I was saying, I'm going to be working on the lamp today. It's mostly just changing the color and adding in the little stripes right here, which I have ideas of how to do that. And basically I have like several ways I'm going to attempt to do it. We'll find out which one will be the best. And then after that, I will see where we are time-wise. I'm going to grab this and rotate it because I think something's not quite turned on with this window, so I'm going to click on it to hopefully highlight it somewhere in the thing here. Ah! And that was me reacting to Sasami-chan. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Got that, got that. Looking around the room, making sure everything else is turned on. Something's missing from here. Well, what the heck is this right here? What is this connected to? Oh, okay, that's the actual string holding that up. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, click on this. That's the curtain rod. There we go. Turn the ends on. Rotate this around. Click back on that one. Find it. Dink. Turn those back on. There we go. Okay. Let me just get my camera adjusted here. Okay, so outside the window was that hand built one part at a time, or is it just a facade? What exactly do you mean outside the window? If you were talking about like these kind of reflections inside the window, that's just a built-in default texture that Blender has for reflections in certain display modes. But if you're talking about like the outside of the building itself, I've built all of that piece by piece over time. Okay, so what we're gonna want to do here is adjust this. Here, I'm gonna adjust that a little bit. Click on this, and how do I center view on an object again? Viewport, I think. No, align view. There we are. Align view to active top, bottom, right, left. Okay, what is? Okay, that's not what I wanted. You're talking about the image coming through the window here. Yeah, that's not an apple farm. I don't know what it is, but it's a default texture that the Blender program has as a reflective surface. Whenever you have a reflective surface in the engine and you're looking at it through this particular view method called Viewport shading method, it's just a texture Blender tosses in there on its own to give you something to look at as a placeholder until you actually render, because these windows are naturally transparent in the engine. So when you hit the render button, it shows what would be outside, in this case a vacant void. That there, in other words, to really answer the question, it's a facade, but it's not a facade of my creation. It's a built-in temporary texture to give you something to look at while you're building things until you actually hit the render button, and then whatever you have built is what you will see. So what it really is it's a picture of apparently some forested area that the Blender people have had. They put it inside the Blender program. There we go. So it's basically just a 360 picture of a forest somewhere, probably a park, that someone took. It's nothing I actually put there. It's just a built-in image that is built into Blender. So let's see. I'm still trying to figure out how to center the view around that. So let's see. View, center, cursor, and frame all. Center view to cursor. I guess I'm going to have to use that one. So I'm going to do cursor to active. And then we go to view, align, center view. There we go. Now we have the lamp as our focus. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to disappear. Okay, so we highlight that, and let's highlight that as well, and hit that button. Okay, there we go. Okay, click on that. Now, let's see. That really depends on the game. It actually depends on how they wanted to do the engine and how accurately they want the physics to work, because depending on the scale of your game, the computer can only keep so much in its collective memory as possible. So most of the time, the world is actually moving around you when it's coming to large open world games, because that's the best way to keep the physics accurate, is to move the world around you instead of you moving through the world. Because the most accurate floating point calculations are around the center of the world. And the further you get out from the center of the world, the less accurate the floating point calculations are. But if you're working with a small world, you're usually moving through it. Like a game like Splatoon, you're moving through the world. But a game like, give me a second here, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's this large space exploration game, and you're supposed to be working your way towards the center of the universe. And because that game's so big, they're actually moving the world around you. So you're actually staying in one spot, but they're moving all the geometry around you to keep the center of the game world the center of you. At least that's when it comes to 3D games. I don't know about 2D games. I think 2D games are moving the world around you as well. So you're staying in one spot, and the world itself slides past you. And in the Half-Life, which game was it? I don't remember if it's Half-Life 2 or Half-Life Episode 1? Half-Life 2 Episode 1? Well, one of them has a train scene. Yeah, I think it's actually Half-Life 2 Episode 1, where there's this train scene, and it looks like the train is traveling, but what's actually going on is the geometry around you is sliding past you. There's a lot of neat tricks to that. I don't. It really depends on your graphics card, and the graphics card, the memory the graphics card has, the GPU and the CPU, and how fast the interface between the RAM and the GPU and the CPU are. That determines how many objects, textures, physics calculations, like all of that is how you figure out how many objects you can have on screen at a time, because it's not just an object you see, it's what makes up that object you actually see. So, like, let's say there's a human character in front of you. Excuse me, it's not just the human model that you're looking at. You're actually looking at, excuse me, billions of little models making up that thing. Because each individual polygon is an object that makes up the larger object. And it's actually the points of the polygons that are actually being calculated, not the surface. It's been a while. Like, the surface is something that gets generated later after the computer figures out where all the points are to make up the polygon. So how many objects the game can support really depends on RAM speed, CPU speed, GPU speed, the pathway between the RAM and the CPU, and all that stuff. I don't know how the engine in either of those games works, whether it moves the world around you or if you move through the world. I would guess you move through the world in both of those, because there's not a lot of space to calculate physics. There's some physics in those games, but it doesn't need to be super accurate all the time. So I'm guessing that you move through the world in those games based on what I know of how the engines work and what determines how you move the character through the world, or if you move the world around the character. Um, and I don't know how many objects in the 64 could actually handle. Um, because there's always techniques of hiding or getting rid of objects you don't need on screen at the time. Like anything behind you in a video game, at least a relatively sophisticated video game, isn't there. Um, because you don't need to see it, so the game doesn't need to render it, so you get more objects in front of you because the objects behind you don't exist because you're not looking at them. Time travel. That is a fun. Wow, that will just fry your brain in so many ways. Oh, jeez, just thinking about time and travel, like everything that goes into it, like I think the only reason we haven't seen time travelers is because we haven't invented time travel. Um, because we would have to invent time travel to basically create a beacon in time that we could go back to. Because that's our biggest problem right now, is because the Earth, the universe, the God, I can't remember the scales. It goes up. It goes, yeah, it's galaxy, universe, and like the universe is expanding. The galaxy is moving. The Earth is moving. It's just like everything's moving, so you can't predict where things were even a second ago. So how would you be able to travel back in time to that second because you don't know where anything was? So you would have to invent time travel so you have a beacon to be able to go, oh, so that's where that was at that given time. And that's as far back in time as you could go because that's as accurate as the information was. Not to mention that even if you could go back in time, even 100 years, language would be so different. There'd be so much bacteria. There's all the stuff you're carrying with you. It's a horrible mess. Ugh. Because that's the thing, like, time travel is like really hard. Well, moving forward in time is like the easiest thing you can do. You just need to move faster physically, because the faster you go, the faster you move forward in time. You can't go back, but you can move forward really fast. Like the faster you get to the speed of light, the slower time is for you. So, as you get closer to the speed of light, you seem to go, oh, it's only been a year, but for everyone else, it's been like much, much longer. So not theoretically, well, theoretically, yes, but we've proven that you can do this by looking at people who are by looking at a set of twins. One was on Earth and one was in the International Space Station for, I think it's a year? I can't remember how long it was. I just know it was a period of time, and since you're up in the International Space Station moving faster than the people on Earth, you technically are moving through time slower or something, or faster. Yeah, my brain breaks. See what I mean by time travel? But basically, their biological clocks were slightly different. And it was enough of a difference that they could go, so yes, our theory about how time works is correct. So, yay! But let's get back to me building a lamp. Okay, well, finishing building a lamp, because it's mostly constructed. It's got all the doohickeys, it's got the lamp button, it's got its bottom, it's got its top. I just want to put these little metal straps here on it and create a another color palette. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna like go through the different ways I've thought about how to do these lines. Yeah. On this lamp. And one way is through a texture. Another way is through 3D objects on here by using Blender's what is it called? It's like ink something. God, what is the name of this thingy? Excuse me. Grease pencil. Okay, by using Blender's grease pencil function, which you can use for 2D animation, and you can also um, use it to build like rudimentary 3D models with lines instead of actual polygons and stuff like that. Okay, back to looking at the chat room here. Interesting thoughts, Sami-chan. Okay, so let's see here. So how is there a grease pencil mode that I have to shift into? Let's see, image editor, UV editor, compositor, texture, geometry, shader, sequencer, movie, clip editor, drop sheet, graphic drivers, nonlinear editor, Python. Okay, I don't see anything like that. Let's see, sculpt, vector, paint, weight, paint, texture, paint. Nope. Odds Botkins. Okay, so how do I activate? I think I might. Well, one, I'm going to save this. And two, I'm going to go like new 2D animation. Okay. There's the draw mode that I'm not seeing in mine. It's definitely the 3D viewport. Pencil, brush, strength. Okay, let's go back to this. So yeah, I'm not seeing it. I think it was actually where the sculpt mode was. So maybe if I go to sculpt mode and I can maybe change it from there into... Nope. Nope. Let's go back to here and let this load in here. Okay. So... Okay, I might have to go online and look this up. Okay, Okay. Just reading through some text here. How do I switch to? As soon as you open Blender, you can go into 2D animation. Yeah, don't care. Because I'm not doing 2D animation right now. Let's see here. Okay, it looks like it is in the sculpt mode. We just have to apparently change some stuff about it, and I'm not quite sure where that would be. Just going to get something real quick because I'm probably going to need it. Ooh, everything's broken. Okay. Okay, I can unplug that from there for now because I don't need that. And plug this into here. Okay, now that's hooked up. Let's go and check the chat room. Excuse me. Oh, still where I left it. Okay. 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 So do I switch? Like most of this stream today, apparently it's going to be me going, how do I activate this mode? Okay. Because right now I have no idea how to turn it on. Okay, draw mode is the mode in Grease Pencil that allows you to draw in 3D. This mode is actually the only one in which new strokes can be created. Already made strokes cannot be selected in draw mode. For editing strokes, you must use edit mode or sculpt mode. "3D view mode selector, draw mode." And based on the pictures I'm looking at, it should be like either this mode or right below this mode in the selectors, but it's not there. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay. Maybe it's in this toolbar here. So I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to switch over to sculpt mode. You've got all these sculpting tools. That's a good face. Okay, so this is not quite what I'm looking for. That is very interesting. So maybe I have to change views or something. Draw, fill, erase, cut, curves. So how do I, get the grease pencil up and running without having to do the whole start a new project 2D animation thing? So the object act as a container of the strokes, draw mode, more details, editing of strokes in edit mode to obtain the best results. Use a graphics tablet. So how in the heck? Menu, add, so I have to add a grease pencil, I think. So let's see. Add grease pencil stroke. Now can I go into, yep, there it is. I had to add a stroke to activate the grease pencil mode. Okay. That is hilarious. Okay, now I just need to find, there's an option where you can tell the grease pencil to adhere itself to a 3D object. So I am going to try and find that option. Okay. Let's see, eyedropper, lines, tint, erase, fill, cutter. Okay. Draw, active layer, lines, colors, new layer, interpolation, high show, clean up. Okay. Add weight data to new strokes. Additive. Draw stroke on back. When draw a new stroke, the new stroke is drawn below. Okay. Auto merge, join. Okay. DDD. I just kind of find it funny when I accidentally find a feature, but then I can't remember where the feature is. Because that was something I found when I was playing around in the 2D animation mode in Blender a while ago, and now I can't remember where that function would be. Okay. Yep. Now, how do I go about okay, maybe it's over here under options. Nope. Fresh settings, maybe? Stroke, random, stabilized stroke, nope. Advanced input symbol, nope. Let's see, what time is it? About halfway done. Well, we're getting somewhere though, because we now know how to be in the stroke mode. I just need to figure out how to attach it to an object. Surface. Let's see if that does it. That did do it. Okay. Okay, it's a little far away from the surface, but I can work with that. Apparently there was some gunk on my drawing pad surface that was making it very uncomfortable. So I just had to clean that off, and that was me also cleaning off the tip of the pencil. Okay. Undo that. Rotate this around to get the approximate angle we're working with. Okay. Now. Okay, there we go. Now, gonna do this, and we're gonna need a line here, and a line across here. Okay. Well, that's kind of neat. I followed all of the surface there. Okay. Now that we have those in place, I can move this out of the way, put this back, and I can now zoom in and manually edit these. If we switch to, excuse me, there's draw and edit. Okay. Don't need that. I forgot you have to hit grab. Okay. I don't need most of those. Those. Okay. Okay, now we've cleaned those up. Yep. Let's see here. Now, how do I select it as? What's this? Extrude radius, bend. Okay. Let's go back to this and highlight this whole thing and then hit bend and okay, that does that whole thing. That adjusts the line thickness. That does that. Wow. Okay. Transform fill, transform grease pencil, stroke fill. Okay. 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 So this is like that. Oh yeah, keep forgetting. It's Blender here. You have to use keys to do certain things. Okay. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay. Okay. Whoopsie. You can't apparently delete lines like that, so let's switch back to draw mode and go to the eraser and see how that works. Okay, so that's what that does. Let's go back to edit. And why don't we actually undo everything I've been doing, since I'm basically just learning here. Okay. So, how do I delete points in the line but maintain the line? Delete group. Seeing our frame points. Delete point and split into segments. Delete selected point without splitting the stroke. Okay. Okay, so I just had that, so where did I put that? Ah, there we are. Okay. Because I really don't need all these points to describe this line. I only need a couple. Okay, now we go back to this one. Go back to here. Okay. Let's go with 45 on this angle. And let's go with a threshold of 0.1. 64 is good. There we go. Grab that and okay. That's looking much better there. Also, it looks like this bottom part here actually wraps around. So let's grab this and move it over here and extrude it so we can go here and here. Now, let's see here. I seem to remember there's a modifier that will make this a lot easier. So let's change to this mode. Turn off that so I can just select that. Let's go to modifier. I believe it's called lattice. And do that. object mode. Okay, so grease pencil is all one object. Okay. Okay. Copy that. Let's go back to here. Go back to modifier. Paste and hit enter. Nope, that doesn't work. Oh wait, I don't think it's actually lattice what we're looking for. Okay. Array, build, mirror, multiple strokes, simplify, subdivide. Go back here and look at this. Mesh deform, shrink wrap. That's what we're looking for, shrink wrap. And projects the shape onto another object. So what happens if I do sphere? Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so we can do that. We can do the lamp, but we can't do the stroke. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Now, do that. Okay, so that does that. Just I check. So I can't do a shrink wrap modifier on this. Let's see. Changes stroke location, rotation, scale. Nope. Don't need. Nope. Time. Nope. Subdivide. Nope. Simplify. Nope. Strokes. Nope. Add an operative effect to active grease pencil object. Build, create a duplicate stroke. Nope. Create an array of duplicate instances. Nope. Okay, so there is not a modifier from what I can see that would I'll make it easier for me to put this object around here. So why don't we hide the grease pencil object and let's try a different method. Okay, so let's add a curve and see if we can get a curve to match. We can shrink wrap a curve. That means we could add an object to it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now let's see if I can remember how to add an object to this. So we're gonna go add, and we're gonna want to make it a cylinder. Shrink down the cylinder, and let's look at, okay, there's a location. Okay, let's actually put this back to 1 for all of these. And then go into edit mode and make sure everything's selected, and then I can scale it down a little bit here. Got a side, actually, that side here. Okay, apparently I accidentally hit the duplicate key. Rotate. Okay. Okay, now mesh deform it. Let's find out. Okay. Okay, is a breeze curve. Okay, so that's doesn't seem to be the modifier we need. Okay, do. Okay, it's not displace. Would it be curve? That would be it. Okay. Now, let's see. Now there's an option I vaguely remember that would allow it to be stretched across the object. I can't remember what property that is. Because I'm not saying anything here other than what direction along the line it should be meant to conform. Okay, so how do I excuse me. Let's invert. Apply, apply a shape key, save as shape key, duplicate. Okay, that's not what we want. Is it actually on this one? Also, done that, but it's not affecting this object. Well, I think that's it for today. I'm gonna maybe look up some tutorials later for how to do this, because it's been a while since I've actually done stuff like this. So I'm gonna save this where it is, and go from here next time. So thank you for joining me, Sasami-chan, and thank you for all of those who came in later through the YouTube algorithm to this on-demand version of the show. So I will be yeah. So I hope you all had a great day or night or evening or whatever. The usual stuff down below. There's the comments. There's the description. It has links in it. Please be nice in the comments. We've got other shows. Yeah. There's a lot of art theft out there. But this is me wrapping up stuff for the evening. Thank you for that comment, Sasami-chan. There is a lot of stuff to look at. So thank you all for stopping by. Like I said, there's links down below. There's other videos on the channel, like you guys can hear Ember's reading room. We've got our usual thoughts on. I do stuff like this about every Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesdays are usually the most reliable, so please come and see me then. I will be doing one this Wednesday. Okay, there's art you can look at with links down below. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you all for hanging around. You all have a nice time out there. Bye-bye.